Hello, welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about the work I've made using white gel pens and correction pens. These are the two I've always used. This one is the Pentel Micro Correct and this one is the Uniball Signo Broad. I'll put down the full details of them in the description below. Anyway, let's get started with the first one. This was drawn outside at a big festival in Portugal. Before I went, I put down these wash of blue because I thought I might only be able to do some quick sketches and I wanted to sort of get the feeling of being at night. So I used the white here and then for some of the lines to sort of get that thing with some big sort of black shadows in. I tried it as well with white on black, but I think it looks a bit dead compared to the sort of blue one. I continued on doing more of these. This when I went to Disneyland Paris. So this again, I put a much darker wash down before I went out, and then I had the black brush pen and the white to sort of show the splashes of the lights, splashes of the water, and also the lights on the boat. There was I'd also thought that maybe as I could draw some of the sideshow type places. So I put down yellow fading into blue before I went out, and then again worked on top of it, and that way you sort of get some of the light in the picture. For this one, this was in Leeds. This was in a bar, and it's the same sort of idea, but there's lots of different colours in it because there's lots of neon and things like that. So it's a bit of a jumble, but hopefully you get an idea of some of the feel of the place, not necessarily the actual detail of it. This is sort of accordion sketchbook I made, putting these the colours down first. This was in Spitalfields Market. Then moving outside, obviously completely different colours to what's there, but it was just like an idea to find out how a different way to draw things when you want to use some colour or experiment, but just only want to take a few tools out with you. This was in the crypt at St Martin's in the field, and actually some of the bricks were sort of more terracotta. Obviously this is much brighter, but maybe that's a bit more like what it would have been. Got a clock at Waterloo, and the last one is the Minster in Croydon. So I just made, with the way I made the sketchbook, I just put down lots of colours, acrylic inks on some big sheets of paper, and then cut them down to make the sketchbook. So there is actually a video on how I did that in one of the other ones. And then on the other side, I've got a drawing made at in Croydon at Box Park, using a sort of carrier bag as the ground to go on. So you use this as like the medium. So you've got the dark blacks, the light whites, and then the medium of the paper. Whereas usually you'd have like the white background and then the dark on top, and then you'd add the medium. So let's have a look at some other ones. I've got a video of this particular one here about how I made it, but I'll just have a quick look at it because it was at the Barbican Conservatory. You can see how the white pen is really quite effective. I knew there wasn't much space there, and I'd have to be very careful about what I took with me, so I just took the black pens and the white pens and then made this to go before I went. If you're going somewhere you know roughly what the colours are like, it's quite a nice idea. There we go. As I said, there's a whole video on this if you want to see it as well. Another one with that same idea was a drawing at the building which is going to be the new Google headquarters in near St Pancras and King's Cross. Everything becomes a bit more abstract when you work this way, but it's quite a different way to work. I think it is a bit experimental, but I think sometimes you get some really nice effects. So this was one view, and then I've got another view here. The actual building's nearly complete, and I have got small space here, so this is what sometimes the sheets look like beforehand. Just very random dropping of inks, letting them dry. And there's one more, so I could do another bit there. And as I mentioned before, sometimes brown paper you get a similar way of doing it. So here on the front of my Malaga sketchbook, I've done that. Just the white and the black, and there's a little bit of green on there as well. And then this was an experiment just at the beginning of 2020, making a sort of little book out of old bags and to use them as the basis to work on. So this was in a cafe, in another cafe, on a rooftop looking over London, and then some ones at Leadenhall Market, I think. I mean, it's a bit random what the results are, but I think that's probably the point of it, really, just to try things new and see if you get any happy accidents. Anyway, just again, these are the ones that I use a lot, and I think they're pretty useful. I've tried a few others. I know people like Posca, but I haven't got on so well with that, but these ones definitely are always in my kit. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.